Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I'm Miss Lisa, and this is my YouTube channel for all things math and science that I want to talk about. And what we're doing today is we're going to use our calculators, our TI-84 graphing calculators, and this works for the 82 or 83 also, to graph inequalities. So if you watched my last video on graphing absolute value, there was more than one way to do it. And there's also more than one way to do it with this. And notice how I brought two calculators. This is something that's a little different with these real new ones and the ones that are a little bit older like that. So I brought it to show you both. Okay, so step one, here is our inequality that we want to graph. And notice that x and y are both on the same side. And if you look at our calculators, we have a y equals button. So we have to get y all by itself. We can't have anything with it. And how you move stuff is by doing the opposite. And you work from what's further away to what's closer. So first we're going to move that plus x to the other side. That negative goes with the 2. It doesn't go with the x. So the opposite of plus x is minus x. And what I do to one side, I do to the other. So I subtract x from both sides. Those cancel out, and there it is. Now, the rule about inequalities is you flip it, and I clap my hands. Flip it. If you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, and we didn't, we subtracted, so it stays the same. Okay, next, why is y not alone? That's fun to say. It's being multiplied by a negative 2. So what's the opposite of multiplying by negative 2? That's right, dividing by negative 2. Now, who gets divided by negative 2? Everybody. I call this the pirate rule of math because it's like there's a bunch of pirates in Tortuga and somebody got some gold doubloons and they say rum for everybody. But instead of it being rum for everybody, everybody gets divided by a negative 2 because you're probably underaged and I don't drink. We're not going for the rum. We're going for the divided by negative 2. So this gets divided by negative 2 and they cancel out. This gets divided by negative 2. Two negatives make a positive, and there it is. X divided by 2, now it's positive. Negative 6 gets divided by negative 2. Two negatives make a positive, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. We flip it because we divided both sides by a negative number. So this is what we're going to graph. Now I'm going to show you several ways to do this. So starting with the new calculator, in case you have a new one, turn it on. This is the regular math screen. We got to go to the y equals button, and there it is. Okay, if there was something in there, you'd push clear to get rid of it. Okay, now, how you do it on these new calculators is you use these arrow keys and we go over to that and we hit enter and it brings up this little thing. Blue is the color we're going to graph in. That's fine. We could change it like to red or black or magenta. We'll make it green. That'll be fun. Maybe he doesn't want us to make it green. Maybe we should leave it blue. This is not my calculator. It's my son's. My calculator is pink. Look at all these colors we can pick from. There, we'll just leave it on blue. But mine is at school. I'm a public school teacher and it's at school. Okay, so here's, it says our line. We use our arrow keys here and we're going to pick what we want. And this is where we can pick, is it greater than or less than? See how that is colored above? That would be greater than. There it's colored below. That would be less than. So we want it to be, our thing is y is greater than, so we need the greater than there. So we can say, okay. The other thing is this. Let's do this. Enter. We need to be able to, okay. The other thing is, we could leave that the same, leave it where it was, like that. And we can arrow over here to these little, oops, I want it to be the same. I don't want that. I want to go over here. I guess. What I want is to change that. Oh, okay. So what we're going to do, there's more than one way to do this, and that's why I'm going, okay, so that's one way to show that you want it the greater than. Another way to do it is to go here to apps, and you go to this program called inequalities, and we hit enter. You hit any key to make it go. And now we go over here. And do you see how the box now contains the equal sign? We hit enter. And now we've got this other line for y equals. And we're going to go here and we're going to choose y is less than or equal to. Nope. Y is greater than or equal to. It's always good to pick the right one. Y is greater than or equal to. So that's the one we picked. We can leave our thing all the same. That's okay. So I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so now it's y is greater than or equal to. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put in my equation, and it is. Now, to put in, for these fancy new calculators, to put in the fraction, what I do is alpha y equals, and this pop-up menu comes up, and I select number 1, which is numerator over denominator. And I put x, this is my button for x, and then I arrow down to 2, then I arrow over, and I put plus 3. So there it is. Sorry about that. Okay, so now that's in, and if I hit graph, dun-dun-dun, there it is. And that's how it was supposed to look. Dun-dun. Okay, now I'm going to show you on the older and then you have to turn off that inequalities program, so let me show you that. Go to apps, go back to inequalities, and you go to number 2, quit. And now if you go back here, and you go back over here, all you can do is pick like up and down. You don't change the equal sign. All right, so now here's this one. This one, we're going to go to y equals, and we're going to run inequalities. So there it is. We hit any key, and it gives us our buttons down here. So we want to change this to greater than or equal. This is this one. So we say alpha graph, and see how that changed it. I arrow over here and clear this out, and now I can put in my equation. Now this one, let's see if it's got the shortcut. Nope, it doesn't have the shortcut for the fraction. Did you see how I said alpha and it just said A? So if yours doesn't have the shortcut for the fraction bar, you can actually go to the Texas Instrument website, have your mom register as your teacher, and you can download it onto your computer. But you don't have to have it. If you don't have the fraction shortcut, we'll just use the parentheses. So I'm going to do beginning parentheses x divided by, what am I dividing by? 2. And that's how I'm going to write my fraction. And then I put in parentheses. Be sure to put it in parentheses, or your calculator has a really hard time understanding what's in the numerator and what's in the denominator. And then I say plus 3, and I hit graph, and there it comes. Dun-dun-dun. Isn't that beautiful? All right, now see how it's got these words down at the bottom? That's how I know inequalities is still running. And when I teach kids face-to-face, they'll forget that they've got inequalities running, and then they're trying to do another graph, and they're like, Ms. Blackburn, it's not working. And it's got these words at the bottom, and I know that they've still got inequalities running. I'm like, go turn it off. So you go back to app, go back to inequalities, and then we're going to quit, number 2. What did you not like there? Let's see if it's still on. Looks like it's off to me. See how there are no words down here now? And see if I graphed it now, it would just be a line, not an inequality. All right, so you practice these problems down here if you're following along with the class, if you've got this book. If not, do the math problems in your book and have fun. Remember, math is great. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.